folks, here are my top 5 King Gizzard and the Lizard Wizard albums. Let's jump into it. But before you consider jumping from this video, just know we've got some special information and late-breaking news on this coming up, so make sure you stick around for the whole video. Number 5 is 2017's Polygondwanaland. Let's call it P for short, just for this video's sake. This was my introduction into KGLW's progressive type rock side and totally hooked me. The opener, Crumbling Castle, grooves in an odd time signature. I believe it's actually in 7/8 with the hi-hat playing every 2 beats. Don't worry if you don't know what that means. All that means is it's not in a normal rhythmic structure like you would hear in a rock and roll song. When you hear Polygondwanaland, that's a mix of words, right? It's the name of the place plus poly. Think of polyrhythms. There's multiple rhythms happening, okay? The narrative of the album tells of a failed political coup meant to save the world from environmental collapse. It's super ambitious, it's theatrical, and kind of reminds me a lot of Rush's Farewell to Kings. 2 of my favorite songs, Crumbling Castle and Tetrachromacy. Did I say that right? Tetrachromacy. Number 4, Butterfly 3000, and that came out in 2021. There are literally 3,000 butterflies on this cover. And I didn't count, some poor fool on Reddit did, and actually marked it up and put dots next to each one. High five for that. I would not have the patience. This is their bright synth pop masterpiece. Many of the songs in this album evolved from jams on the previous album. It feels organic, fluid, it feels warm. My 2 favorite songs are Shanghai and Interior People. And just a real quick anecdotal story on Interior People. The band Fish was supposed to cover Interior People, but Eggy, who are actually some guys that I know from Connecticut who are a jam band that's really kind of blowing up right now, beat them to it and covered it, and there's a whole story that I linked to on my Substack page. The album screams of a road trip, but like also like visually of like anime and tonkatsu ramen, and you know, it's just lots of synth. It's cool to listen to. You'll dig it. Album number 3 is Flight B741, and that came out in 2024. I'd say this is their most accessible album, and certainly not what I expected when I heard it for the first time. It's melodic, lots of pop rock goodness with choruses that you can sing along to. It has that 1970s FM fog hat kind of vibe. And it was the first album I found myself singing along to the songs. My 2 favorite songs are Mirage City, which is the first song on the album, which I've learned all the lyrics to, and Hog Calling Contest. Number 2 is KG, and here's where you get into that microtonal stuff. It's actually their second microtonal record, and I think this is where they really hit the magic, really owned it. The songs are tight, they made awesome videos for the songs, and this is unheard of, they released DAW stems, and when I say DAW, I mean like Pro Tools or any of the music editing software of instruments that are not on the album that you can take and put in your editing software and make your own mixes of the songs. Like, what? So that's really cool. I haven't done it, but I kind of want to now. My 2 favorite songs are Automation, which is like got single written all over it if we lived in a world that cared about singles, other than releasing on Spotify. And then another song called Minimum Brain Size, which is really catchy. And I'm just going to do it. My number 1 King Gizzard and the Lizard Wizard album, by far, by a mile, not even close, came out in 2019, and it's called Infest the Rat's Nest. This is King Gizzard and the Lizard Wizard's Kill 'Em All, Metallica's first album, if you don't know, Kill 'Em All. It's straight up thrash metal, relentless, it's glorious, lots of double kick drums, breakneck riffing, down picking, that kind of thing. If you look at the album cover, it's very dystopian. You see the rat's jaws. They made a video game based on it. So Infest the Rat's Nest is actually a video game that they programmed. So there's that. It's also the first album of theirs that I bought on vinyl, so I have it proudly displayed with my collection, and I'll probably do a live broadcast on it someday. James Hetfield, Kerry King, Dave Mustaine, all those guys would be proud. Maybe not Dave Mustaine, for perhaps obvious reasons. My favorite songs, every single one. So there you have it. Those are my top 5. There's so much more to the Gizverse than I could possibly cover. Yes, Gizverse, believe it or not. The Gizverse is like a whole fan theory where all the songs intertwine. Like I mentioned before, there's fan created wikis, there's YouTube rabbit holes, there's maps that fans have created. It's insane. But here's the kicker, and here's why I asked you to stay along until the end of the video. You can't listen to King Gizzard and the Lizard Wizard on Spotify anymore. As of today, which is July 25 of 2025. As reported by Pitchfork literally a few hours ago, the band pulled their entire discography from Spotify in protest of CEO Daniel Ek's investment in AI-powered military drone technology. In a public statement, they encouraged fans to find their music elsewhere on platforms that they feel better align with their values. So if your albums that you love by them disappeared from your Spotify library, that's basically why it happened. The good news is you can still watch them on YouTube with the ads.